We are now moving on to take the other priority motion that we agreed to take, and that is the Ofsted statement about the hijab in schools. And I call Alex Kenny of the Executive to move.
Thanks, President, and thanks, Conference, for giving Jess Edwards and I the time to bring this motion to you. It's an important motion, and I welcome the amendment put in by Causa and Nipper and urge you to support it. This motion isn't about what you or I may think about religion or what people wear to school or work. It's about what happens when a large government-funded organisation uses its access to the media to shout and point the finger at a community that feels vulnerable and under attack. It's about what happens. It's about what happens when the Office for Standards in Education steps beyond its remit and proclaims on a subject about which it knows very little and about which it has brought no evidence or research. It's about what happens when the head of that organisation, Amanda Spielman, fails to recognise that her words from her office in central London have an impact way beyond the school gates. So against the backdrop of rising Islamophobia and physical or verbal attacks on Muslim women and girls, Amanda Spielman joins in the chorus, shouting from outside, from across the road, about sexualisation, radicalisation, disengagement, and uses the term in relation to a discussion about what girls wear to school. She uses the term perverting the purpose of education. How dare she? Shame on you, Amanda. In doing that, she ignores the decision by the Court of Appeal in 2005, which said that schools should start from a position of allowing religious garments and religious wear in schools, and that should only prescribe against those things if there was a serious risk or there was an exception that should be provided, really about health and safety. So there's a Court of Appeal judgment that says it's right that schools allow people to wear religious garments to school. Amanda Spielman has produced no evidence. Ofsted have done no research about how clothing affects teaching and learning, not just religious clothing, any clothing in schools. There's no evidence that says what you wear to school has an impact on how you learn or how you achieve in schools. And yet she sees fit to send inspectors to invade the privacy of young girls in primary schools who may be wearing the hijab for a variety of reasons, because their mum wears it, because their sister wears it, because they want to identify with their religion. And I'll say this. Every year in Tower Hamlets, we see young Muslim girls flourish in our schools, go on to local universities and go on to become teachers, nurses, doctors, accountants, lawyers and so on. I don't see the hijab or anything they wear to school hindering their educational achievement. And I welcome the statement by Tower Hamlets Council that schools shouldn't change their clothing policy and that young people should have the choice to wear the hijab without unfair targeting or challenge. Conference, this is serious. We've seen it before in France and other countries. When a government or one of its organisations speaks, others see it as a licence to promote hatred, division and violence. And we end up with a grotesque situation where people put out on social media that Tuesday is Punish a Muslim Day, something we condemn and something we will speak up against. So Amanda Spielman, Amanda, we're calling you out on this. We call on you to cease and desist. The NUT will issue guidance to schools, and the NUT as an organisation and us as individual members will stand shoulder to shoulder with our Muslim colleagues and students. Say no to hate. Say no to Islamophobia. Please support this motion and the amendment.
Thank you. I call Jess Edwards, Executive, to second.